Thank you. Ms. Simon?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to thank the witnesses for being here today. Where do I even, begin? The issues surrounding families who are low income and the working poor, supporting them in their plight, I believe is what we're all here to do. But this conversation is extremely troubling. I came to Congress to represent those families, clearly. One of those families is the Sioux family in my district, multi-generational family in the Bay Area, and they overcame decades of anti-Asian laws and housing covenants to live the American dream, a family that bought a home and season tickets to the A's, although they've left, very, very sad. But for many families, like this family, changes did happen. The Sioux family incurred medical bills like my family did, divorce, and the 2008 recession changed everything, broke down their safety net. Derek So, he lost his home during that period and his car, and he couldn't afford rent on his $1,000 a month income that came from disability once he was disabled. Today, Derek is leading advocacy efforts for dignified folks who are too low income to afford rent. And I'm so thankful for that work. Mr. Chair, I ask unanimous consent to enter into the record San Francisco Chronicle's Homegrown and Homeless in Oakland. Well, I hope that can go in without.
Oh, sure, yes.
Thank you, sir. I just want to say, right here in this building, the daycare workers make $30,000 a year to take care of the children, school-age children of members of Congress. $30,000 a year. Suppose two of these folks who work are married. They're married, working in this Capitol. They can't afford a one-bedroom in Washington, D.C. So few people who make laws for the poor have been poor. Many of you all know that I was a teen mom. I went to college. I got food stamps, $26 a month. Every other week, I was at the counter putting back food because, again, people were making policy for poor folks who had no idea what it was like having to move through an economy that didn't understand what it was really like to be poor. I want to be clear. Those daycare workers in this building, don't you think they want a better income? Or do you want for them to leave the daycare here in 2 years? You want full economies to shift, have people leave. Because being poor, to many folks in this room, is a crime. Being poor or literally working at Walmart, where you still, when you work at Walmart, do you know, across this country, you still qualify for SNAP? These low-wage jobs that folks are working with their bodies cannot afford healthcare, cannot afford the rents in their community. I apologize to the folks who are watching this, who are strong and amazing and dutiful and patriotic folks. Folks are punching down on you, and it's not just not fair, it is extremely cruel. The permanence of poverty in this country is clear. There's a permanence of poverty of folks who, again, are working day in and day out, and in my district cannot afford $2,400 for a two-bedroom, for a one-bedroom. I just want to be clear. The reality is, and I've been there, being poor is hard. Being poor is hard. And the federal government should not be making poverty harder. When we ask a family that's paying 50% of their income to rent to afford childcare, I have been there, and elder care, and medical insurance, we are sentencing them to lifelong debt, housing insecurity, and hunger. I want to be clear that any reduction in SNAP, any reduction in Medicaid, any reduction in housing benefits for the working poor, or services that could be the difference between life and death, or living on the streets for so many vulnerable individuals and families is what we're proposing. President Trump this week, actually last week, released a budget that would slash housing vouchers, public housing programs for seniors and people with disabilities. It's clear, we've read it. Cut the LIHEAP, which, regardless, we know it helps working families afford heat in the winter and cool air in the summer. It would limit homeless individuals who are at risk of future homelessness because you want to give a clear-cut cap on how long these deserving people need to get out of poverty. Believe me, I've gotten out of poverty. It takes longer than 2 to 4 years. My constituents have been clear with me. They've brought me here because they're hardworking and they deserve a government that's going to work with them as they move through an economy that has no idea what it means to move through poverty. And I yield back.